Welcome to Finances and Contracting training. For this training, headphones and a material for taking notes are recommended.
During this training, we'll discuss the different kinds of accounts your organization has access to in addition to ways to receive funding. Then we'll cover how to apply for SIP grants and how to complete a supply request form to gain access to those grants. We will also discuss how to receive reimbursement, how to deposit funds, and finally, we'll provide an overview of contracting. Your organization will have access to two different types of funding accounts, your allocated account and your fundraising account. Your allocated account is managed by the Student Engagement Office. In a few slides, we will discuss how you can get money into your allocated account. It is important to note that any money in your allocated account operates on a use it or lose it mentality. If your organization does not use all of its allocated funds by the end of the academic year, the money will not roll over to the next year. The second account is your fundraising account. Anytime your organization hosts a fundraiser and raises funds that contribute to operating costs, the money will be deposited into your fundraising account. Later in this video, we will review how to deposit the raised money into this account. The great thing about your fundraising account is that the money will roll over year after year to support future initiatives. To assist RSOs with keeping track of where funds are spent and how much money is remaining, the Student Engagement Office has posted a budget tracking spreadsheet on our website. Later in this video, we will highlight where these resources are located on the website. RSOs are encouraged to submit their budget document to the SGA at the end of every semester to ensure funds are being appropriately tracked. If ever in doubt, RSOs can contact the Student Government Association representative or Student Engagement Office to check the balance of either their allocated or fundraising account. There are a few primary ways for an RSO to receive funding. First is by completing their annual budget request form. On this form, your organization lists the budget items you need for the upcoming year, so the Student Engagement Office and Student Government Association can grant you those funds. Over the summer, the Student Engagement Office, in conjunction with SGA, will review all budget requests and will notify organizations on the amount of money they have been allocated by the end of September. Another opportunity to receive funding is by fundraising. To learn more about hosting fundraising events, please email seo@holyfamily.edu. Student-initiated program, or SIP grants, are always a great way to get funding approved by SGA for events and programs throughout the year. Finally, collecting membership dues is another way to secure funding for your organization. The following slides will reference financial resources that can all be found on the Student Engagement Office website. The Student Engagement Office website can be accessed by first going to the Holy Family University website, then hovering over the Current Students tab and clicking on Student Engagement. Then click Forms and Policies on the left side to access all of the RSO financial document resources.
SIP grants, as mentioned, are granted by SGA. To apply for a SIP grant, fill out the SIP grant form. Once you complete the form, SGA will vote on your funding request at their next General Assembly meeting. Once SGA votes, they will inform you of their decision via email. If your organization is granted funds, you can use these funds by completing a supply request form. This is what the SIP grant form looks like. You will provide information about the event or program you're requesting funding for. To access SIP funds, you'll need to complete a supply request. Once you submit the supply request form, the SEO will receive it and ask any additional questions they have by email. Once approved, the SEO will purchase the supplies your organization requested and deduct those totals from your SIP grants. The SEO will then notify your organization when supplies are ready to be picked up. If you would like to purchase an item online, please include the URL for the item with your supply request. This is the supply request form. You'll provide the name of your event along with information about what supplies are needed.
On the last page of the supply request form is a file upload slot for a RSO financial obligations form. This document must be submitted either with the supply request form, through email to the Student Engagement Office, or in person to room 212 of the Campus Center in order for supplies to be purchased. This is what the RSO financial obligations form looks like. The document will require the originator or the person completing the form to document the name of the event, where you need supplies purchased from, how much money can be used, and which funding account the money should be drawn from to make the purchase. All parties involved must sign the document, including the originator, the RSO treasurer, and the RSO advisor. This ensures that the organization has full authority in purchasing made on their behalf. Sometimes an RSO will need to make a purchase for a program in a shorter amount of time than the Student Engagement Office needs to complete a supply request. In these cases, organizations may be eligible to request a reimbursement. Please note that reimbursements must be cleared by the Student Engagement Office prior to completing the purchase. Once the organization has received approval for reimbursement, a member or advisor for the RSO would make the purchase using their own funds. The purchaser would then need to submit a copy of the receipt to the Student Engagement Office. The purchaser should submit the receipt quickly, as receipts that are more than 30 days old will not be accepted and a reimbursement may not be offered. The Student Engagement Office may need to ask the purchaser to submit a W-9 form to the university before the reimbursement may be processed. The Student Engagement Office will complete and submit all required forms to the Accounts Payable Office, who will make and mail the check to the purchaser. Now we will discuss how to deposit funds. When you receive money, it is considered best practice to deposit the funds within 24 hours of receiving them, or 72 hours if the event is held on a weekend. Your organization will want to download and complete the deposit slip from the Student Engagement Office website. If you do not know your organization's fundraising account number, members of your leadership team can contact either the Student Engagement Office or your Student Government Association representative. Finally, you will deliver the money and the deposit slip to the Office of Student Accounts.
The final portion of this presentation overviews contracting. Contracts are used whenever you intend to purchase a service, such as renting a facility, paying a performer, or bringing items to campus, such as food trucks and bouncy houses. The Student Engagement Office staff will help your organization communicate with the vendor, as well as work with Holy Family's risk management team to complete the contract.
Thank you for completing this training. For questions, comments, concerns, or more information, please email us at seo@holyfamily.edu. To earn credit for this training, please be sure to complete the post-assessment that is linked to the description for this video.